Quick warning before this video. I'm aware the audio drifts slightly out of sync. I'm not yet sure how to fix it. I'm trying as hard as I can. If you want to come and shout at me on Twitch, feel free to do that. In the immortal words of R. White Goose, my friends, it just keeps happening. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I am Josh Strife. Let's talk about geek and gaming news of the day. And Bethesda, you glorious fuck up. You brilliant mistake. I'm going to be honest, when I was thinking 2 or 3 days ago that I should do daily updates on geek and gaming news, I thought surely there can't be that many things happening every day to warrant an update. But no, Bethesda, you've pretty much got me covered single-handedly, so good job to all of you guys. I'm pretty sure that you're employing Mr. Bean as one of your developers right now. You must have someone on your payroll whose job title is just professional fuck-up. And you know what? They are doing a sterling job, an absolutely sterling job. We've got some good news later on in this video, but right now, let's keep focusing on all the bad things that are happening, because I'm going to be honest, it entertains me no end. So, anyone that follows this channel or watched yesterday's video will know that Bethesda, makers of the widely esteemed and hugely adored and, universally loved Fallout 76, sense the sarcasm there, have recently announced their subscription service, Fallout First. And yesterday we made a lovely little video covering the satirical website falloutfirst.com, which is not owned by Bethesda, it's owned by some genius troll. Anyway, you're going to pay £12 a month to be a Fallout First member. If you want to do that, it's your money, spend it how you want. I wouldn't personally advise that, but you do it. And you get a couple of things if you want to be a Fallout First member. A couple of things that no one cares about, the emotes, the icons, they can take it or leave it. The Ranger armor outfit in the game, a cosmetic override to make it look like you're from New Vegas, the good Fallout. And a couple of atoms, which are the premium currency. No one really cares about them. They're nice, but they don't really make up the bulk of it. However, the Fallout First membership contains 3 very important things that the player base have been asking for a long time. Private worlds, which is where you and your friends, or just you, can go adventuring. The scrap box, which is where you can store all of your materials and scrap and items to build things and upgrade things. And the survival tent, a placeable tent that allows you to heal and fast travel to it from anywhere else in the world. So these 3 things pretty much make up the bulk of that membership. So you'd expect those 3 things to be pretty good. But no, Bethesda decided, no, we're not going in this direction. We're not going to make a good game. We are going to make everything broken. But not so broken that you can't use it. No, just broken enough to really be a problem. Because if the game just crashed, that you can't really harm yourself too much. Because that's exactly what the survival tent does. If you try and put the survival tent down in the game, you will crash to desktop. Well done. Bang on. Do you not have anyone beta testing this? Do you not have some guy in a basement paid to just play Fallout 7? I can't imagine a worse hell, to be honest, of just being forced to play Fallout 76 all the time. And then someone comes down and throws the update at you and you have to test it. When you put the survival tent down, what should be a bed and a kind of small mobile homestead to allow you to, have all the amenities of home out in the wilderness. No, the game just crashes. I think this is probably the best update they've come out with so far. It is the quickest and most efficient way to close the game. Don't bother with any of that press escape, go to the menu, click quit. No, just put the survival tent down, boom, straight to desktop. Fantastic. So the survival tent is more of a death tent. So you change one word in the title, you've got what it is. Less survival, more death. What about the scrap box? Okay, this sounds pretty game-breaking, pretty powerful. I even said this was game-breaking yesterday. You take all of the items that you carry and you put them into a scrap box. You don't need to worry about inventory space or weight management or anything like that. You just put them into the scrap box. Excellent. However, what would happen if you came back to the scrap box, looked inside, and everything you'd put into it was gone? Just deleted. Not saved, just destroyed. I mean, that'd be a pretty big oversight, wouldn't it? That'd be a pretty major oversight, actually. That's effectively saying, hey, here's a basket that will hold all of your stuff. but if you take a peek inside the basket, it's just a black hole and you don't get any of your stuff back. Because that's exactly what the scrap box is. It is deleting items that people put into it. People on Reddit have... You can go on it and have a look. There's thread after thread. People are putting in, oh yes, I've stored, several £100 worth, weight-wise, of items into the scrap box, and I came back later and checked, and they were gone. That's not a scrap box, Bethesda. That's a bin. Okay? That's less of a scrap box and more of a destruction box, more of a scrap recycler, but you don't even get the benefit. Someone is messing up somewhere majorly. So if you've paid and got these 3 things, Private Worlds, Scrap Box and Survival Tent, you've actually got Death Tent and Bin. But what about the Private Worlds? Surely they work. No, they don't. Of course they don't, because we can't have anything good. You can't... Did you even finish this update? Seriously. Right, okay, the Private Worlds. Let's just get our head around this. You start a Private World. In theory, it creates a new instance for you, and you get to explore it by yourself or with your friends. Sounds pretty simple so far. But it's not quite working that way. Because some people are discovering they go into these Private Worlds, and all the enemies and NPCs are already dead. And all the items are already looted. Which is a public world. Literally the opposite of private. The game is not creating instances as and when you need to put you into them. The game is simply looking for empty instances devoid of people and putting you into them, regardless of how recently the last person was there. Previous items may not have respawned yet. Other enemies may not have come back. Rare drops may not be there anymore. This isn't building a new room every time a private server wants to be created, a private world wants to have someone visit it. This is just looking for an empty room and then putting someone in there. It's like going to a hotel, kicking all the guests out, not tidying the rooms and putting a load of new people in, saying, look, private worlds. No, it's not a private world. That's a previously public world that's now empty. That's not how it works. So your 3 updates, private worlds by yourself, are actually public worlds that other people used to come to, the opposite of what you promised. The scrap box, which is a place where you put things to save them, is actually a place where you put things to destroy them, opposite of what was promised. And the survival tent, that's meant to help you save your game, crashes your game, which is the opposite of what was promised. Bethesda, you are the Van Gogh of mistakes. This is brilliant. It's almost meta kind of comedy. It's almost a black comedy at this point. It's fantastic to watch. It is like watching a train derail and crash. As long as I don't know anyone on that train, it's fascinating to see. It's like watching a house burn down. As long as it's not my house, it's fascinating to watch. You are messing up with the speed of the video game industry behind you, and we love you for it. So, is there any good news out of this? Anything good happened? Well, yes. Many years ago, there was a video game studio called Black Isle Studios. Some of you may know their famous games: Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights, Icewind Dale, the kind of top-down isometric RPGs that became world famous. Baldur's Gate 2 Shadows of Arm is still considered one of the best Western RPGs ever made. Well, Black Isle Studios recently, they went through a bit of a reformation, a bit of a change, and you now know them as Obsidian. Now, Obsidian has created a game called The Outer Worlds. And The Outer Worlds happens to be a game set in a post-apocalyptic nuclear future. Kind of like Fallout. Except this is going to be good. And they are throwing no end of shade at Bethesda. The fact that one of their adverts, I'll try and find it and put it on screen for you now. One of their adverts says, from the original makers of Fallout, which is just a real tongue-in-cheek way of saying, hey, we're the guys that made the good ones. Remember that? Fallout 1 and 2? Remember all the good games? Yeah, we sorted that out for you. These guys also made Pillars of Eternity. They made, if I've got a list here of what they actually created, let's have a quick look through and see what else they made. They made Neverwinter Nights 2, Alpha Protocol, Dungeon Siege 3, The Stick of Truth, the The old game from South Park, Pillars of Eternity, I've already said. Tyranny, Pathfinder, and what was their big one? There was a really big one. The Sith Lords, that was it. Some of the Star Wars games. They were basically, these guys know RPGs. These guys know RPGs really well. And they must be loving it. They must be sat back right now thinking, we don't even need to hire a marketing department. Just let Bethesda keep doing whatever they're doing and we're going to keep going. So this saga continues. The saga of Bethesda completely screwing up Fallout 76 is, I hope, reaching a glorious end where everyone just goes, maybe we should just go and download a better game. If you want to spend £12 a month on that, that's fine. Or you could not spend £12 a month on that and spend £12 a month on another game instead, which would be my recommendation. But for now, I hope that something bad happens in the video game industry every day for the rest of the year. And I hope that it's not all just Bethesda, because I don't want to keep advertising them. But for now, thank you very much for tuning in as usual and listening to me ranting about video games. I will be live on Twitch as often as I can, twitch.tv/Josh Strife Hayes. If you have any opinions or feelings about the current state of Bethesda, or if you've played or are planning on playing The Outer Worlds, let me know down in the comments below. I try and respond to everything I can. Thank you very much for your time as usual, and have a great day.